My name's Noah. I'm an alcoholic.
My name's Gabe, and I'm a codependent.
Welcome to the stream.
Sounds good.
All right, no robots today. So, today's topic. I'm gonna let Gabe read it.
Okay. Let's start with a serenity prayer.
Okay. Yes.
God,
God,
grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can,
and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. I've turned over here.
That's fine. The only reason why I'm having you read this is because, maybe we'll read from one of these books today. And,
Ooh.
okay. I'll probably have to
Sounds
read the small writing.
Okay. May 7th. Turning turmoil into peace. With the world in such a turmoil, I feel I have been blessed to be where I am. Some days it doesn't pay to turn on the news. We hear so many stories about violence and mayhem. When we used, many of us grew accustomed to violence. Through the fog of our addiction, we rarely got too disturbed by the state of the world. When we are clean, however, many of us find we are particularly sensitive to the world around us. As recovering people, what can we do to make it a better place? When we find ourselves disturbed by the turmoil of our world, we can find comfort in prayer and meditation. When it seems like everything is turned upside down, our contact with our higher power can be our calm in the midst of any storm. When we are centered on our spiritual path, we can respond to our fears with peace. And by living peaceably ourselves, we invite a spirit of peace to enter our world. As recovering people, we can effect positive change by doing our best to practice the principles of our program. Just for today, I will enhance peace in the world by living, speaking, and acting peacefully in my own life.
Oh, sorry, Bobby.
It's a good
As
one.
I step on the dog. It is a good one. And I definitely would like to drink to forget everything around me. Forget about the world, forget about any war, forget about people dying. Definitely a good number.
Like a shortcut to peace, like a kind of peace, right? It's not like lasting peace, but
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I imagine it would be hard to, to give up the numbing and be faced with just life as it is all the time. I think, along with my codependence, I think I have like a little bit of like a drama addiction or like a stress addiction, because that's a very familiar place for me. If things are all in turmoil, bad things happening in the world, in my life, the life of my family, it feels real familiar. Like this is what I know, and not even that I like it, but it's familiar. But through prayer and meditation, I have experienced like moments and times that do feel peaceful. And although it's a little scary, like almost too quiet, it also feels so good. And I want more of that. Now I hate it when I get to the really frenzied place, like, what's going on? I want to go to my quiet place and just get in touch with my higher power. And I actually pray for peace a lot. And I guess I should be like praying for peace in the world and for other people, but mostly I'm praying for peace in my mind, because it can be such a crazy place, just so loud and so many scary demons and worries.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've both kind of turned to fitness to kind of help us with those things and have something to focus on.
It does kind of center the mind a little bit when you work with your body. I feel that it kind of brings my mind, into my body. So I'm just worried about taking that next step or doing that next stretch or whatever it is instead of the woo, yeah. I always regret making silly faces and silly motions because that's what YouTube will pick for
Yes.
like our preview screen.
With me, look, it's gonna be like me,
right?
and you.
And me, like, yeah.
I hope it does.
Making
That would
the
be
stupidest
perfect.
face ever. Yeah. Stupid faces, that's my thing. Do you have anything else to say about peace? Do you want to read to us from one of your new books?
Yeah. I'll read from the 24 Hours a Day book.
Okay. Is this an AA book?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
It's the 7th, right?
Yes.
Yeah. May 7th, AA, Thought for the Day. It's very important to keep in a grateful frame of mind if we want to stay sober. We should be grateful that we're living in a day and age when alcoholics aren't treated as they often used to be treated before Alcoholics Anonymous was started. In the old days, every town had its town drunk who was regarded with scorn and ridiculed by the rest of the townspeople. We have come into AA and found all the sympathy, understanding, and fellowship that we could ask for. There's no other group like AA in the world. Am I grateful? Meditation for the day. God takes our efforts for good and blesses them. God needs our efforts. We need God's blessing. Together, they mean spiritual success. Our efforts are necessary. We cannot merely relax and drift with the tide. We must often direct our efforts against the tide of materialism around us. When difficulties come, our efforts are needed to surmount them. But God directs our efforts into the right channel, and God's power is necessary to help us choose the right. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may choose the right. I pray that I may have God's blessing and direction in all my efforts for good.
That's good, and it goes along with our other reading, only I think it's like more about like what you can do, prayer and gratitude, and you'll bring that up to me a lot, and I always appreciate it if I'm feeling worried or down or anything. Gratitude is the cure for so many bad feelings because it takes us out of the, what I don't have, what I'm not getting, what's going wrong, to what I do have, what is going right, and what I've been blessed with. And I don't know why it's hard to stay there. We're like such driven people, always going for the next thing, the next material thing, or the next good feeling, or the next level of life, whatever, but yeah, I think coming back to gratitude, and I'm grateful to be alive, to be sitting in this room, to be warm, to be healthy, to have my dog, like it's like crazy how blessed I really am.
Definitely.
You have any thoughts on that reading?
No, I think it's really good. It was really good. And it's hard sometimes to be grateful for just like the small things, but I'll catch myself being grateful just for small random things. It's quite weird, but
yeah, like small
good.
things can bring joy. It's just as big as something big sometimes. Like every day I write in my journal like something I'm grateful for, and like sometimes it'll be something big like my new car. That was like huge, and I felt very grateful. But other days it's coffee, that was invented and it tastes good and I enjoy it, or
Mhm.
um, AA or Al-Anon. You know, like
Yeah.
there's so many things that we can be grateful for that it's easy to
Mhm.
take for granted.
Yeah.
Granted? I
Yes.
don't know. So, are you feeling some peace, some gratitude? Are you feeling some concern, worry, frenzy?
Um. I mean, I always have some kind of worry in the back of my mind, but I always try to think of the positive things,
Mm.
that I'm healthy enough to worry about stupid small things.
Mm, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I think about that sometimes, like when I'm really worrying or getting worked up about something in my life. I think, thank God I have the capacity to work on myself, to be aware of like
Mhm.
stressors, and that maybe there's a better way. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. Definitely.
But sometimes I feel guilty, like, like I have it too good or too easy, like doing this stream or going to a meeting where there's like a lot of like hurting people. Sometimes it's hard to admit, well, I'm unhappy. I'm dissatisfied because I feel like there's so much worse things going on, people that are really, really, really suffering. And for me to be like, man, I can't find like a career that like I really like and I can make some money and I'll enjoy it. Like,
Right.
I feel like kind of like a privileged brat,
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm not praying for my next meal here,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. That's true. That was a good one.
mm, but I guess there's gratitude again,
Mhm.
right? Being
Yeah.
grateful for what we have and helping where we can,
Yeah.
like sharing our stories or
Mhm.
offering a
Whether
hand
this is
or
just, I was told in a meeting yesterday about these streams that even if nobody is watching, at least
mm,
it's helping you
mm,
and it's good for you. It's not just.
right,
So I was like, yeah, that is
right,
true.
very true. Yeah, that's right. It's how we 12 step,
Hmm.
even if there's nobody out there with 12 stepping too.
All right.
We got something else to read?
Yeah.
All right.
Man, we got lots of stuff now.
Yeah, roll with it.
I was gonna say we'll have something else, but that's just what we
Oh,
just read.
I have a bazillion books if you
No.
want to go on a marathon.
No. It's May 7th, right? I've asked that
Yeah.
so many times. Okay. Oh. Respect for others. This is. Okay, maybe you can. There we go.
Daily reflections.
Respect for others. Such parts of our story we tell to someone who will understand yet be unaffected. The rule is we must be hard on ourselves, but always considerate of others. That's Alcoholics Anonymous, page 74.
Mm.
Respect for others is the lesson that I take out of this passage. I must go to any lengths to free myself if I wish to find that peace of mind that I have sought for so long. However, none of this must be done at another's expense. Selfishness has no place in the AA way of life. When I take the fifth step, it's wiser to choose a person with whom I share common aims, because if That person does not understand me. My spiritual progress may be delayed, and I could be in danger of a relapse. So I ask for divine guidance before choosing the man or woman whom I take into my confidence.
Confidence, I think so. Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. Nice and quick.
Mm-hmm. It is quick. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of like an obvious kind of one, right?
Were you
Like,
about to say no brainer?
yeah, I was. How do you know?
Because I
You
could
can like
just.
hear it,
I
feel
could,
it.
yeah.
So because I know we've talked about like, would you want me to go through my fifth step with you? And
No.
right. I mean, I think maybe, in the to the end of rigorous honesty, I think that you should be aware in a general way of
Right.
everything in my fifth step or, some kind of
Yeah.
like abbreviated version. But yeah, I think it'd be unnecessary to drag you through it in a complete way, because like I've shared it with my counselor, I hope to share it with my sponsor. Um, People that it doesn't hold any like like triggers for of like past conflicts and issues and so like they're not like personally affected by my life the way that like you would be, or anybody else. But uh, it's a good thing for me to think of like outside of fifth step even, um and just like talking to people because I'm very much like get it out there, like put it out there, whatever it is, the feelings, the issues, the what happened, whatever. um and I think I sometimes do that without considering how that might affect somebody else because it's just something I have in my head. Honesty is always the best policy. This is something I heard growing up, so I'll just like put it out there. And being in the program has made me think about things like, well, is the other person willing to hear this? Are they ready? Are they, offering you like a time like, yes, I'd like you to come talk to me or whatever. Um, so it's good for me to think about just not steamrolling over people, even if there's issues that need to be addressed, doing that in a kind way. And I mean, I hope you've seen me work on this a little bit. If I have something I want to talk to you about, that I say, I really want to talk to you about this. Is this a good time? Can we do it another time? As opposed to just like, like I've got this issue and we need to talk about it and here it is, very forceful.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
um, But your perspective would be different on this, right? Because you got like a little bit of like the avoidant personality. So how does that play into like taking other people's feelings into consideration? Because you're not one that's likely to just go talking at people and getting them upset. I don't really see you doing that very much.
I mean, I take other people's feelings into consideration all the time. That's why I drive the way that I do. Always speeding or being nice and slow, whoever, depending on my surrounding. Um, Same with the way I was at work. I hated telling people no that I didn't want to. I hated when people asked for help from me because I didn't want to tell them no. And I never asked for help. Maybe on the rare occasion, but I like to do my own thing, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm like taking other people's feelings into considerations. Sometimes I'm noticing when people aren't taking my feelings into consideration.
Well, yeah, I mean, just what you're saying, I can tell you who's not taking your feelings into consideration, and that's
Me,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Mm. But I mean, you're talking some past stuff because
Right,
I think you've worked on this. So
yeah. I tried.
Mm. Yeah. So we've like completely circle flip-flopped on this. So now it's about caring for yourself, and I think we're both working on that.
I know, it is hard.
Mm. Yeah.
Especially when you're nagging me about things and like how I'm trying to run my program and things like that, and be like, this is mine. Stop. That's actually pretty easy to do, and I like doing that with you, but
Right.
but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you're trying to make me feel bad because I'm not working as hard as you.
I mean, you probably don't want to get into this on stream, right? I never want to make you feel bad, and I love it when you do recovery, and the
Right.
only time I will ever call you out is when you say, I'm committed to doing this such and such a thing, whether it's meetings with somebody or whatever it is, and then you don't do it.
Right.
So
And then sometimes we can have misunderstandings, and
well,
then
that's true, and then that's a
and then
good
you
place.
expect one thing and I'm expecting another, and neither of us, and sometimes that can cause
Right. But that's
so
just a great place to like to infuse some information. Like the miscommunication stuff I think is some of the easiest conflicts we have, because if it's clearly like you think this and I think this, then that's a real conflict that it's, a lot of work to work through. But if
yeah.
it's we both have like misunderstandings, like I thought it was going to be one way and you thought it was going to be another way, then usually that's pretty easy,
Mm-hmm.
for me to like see your side and understand where you're coming from once you give me more information of like, oh, well, I'm doing it this way, or I
Ooh.
thought this. Yeah.
Sorry. Right.
But I mean, yeah, everybody's got a different program. I mean, I don't know. I mean, AA is a program, so like, in my mind, it's something you can pretty easily follow, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like scheduled or anything. Like it's not literally you have to do this on this day, and then a week later
Yeah.
you have to do this and whatever.
Yes, it is. In your book, it is.
I mean, yeah, I've like rocked through some stuff, and then I've taken like some real like downtime
I
as
know.
well.
Because you're trying to do something else though right now, and you're learning.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a good stream.
Air 5. Okay, real 5.
Yeah. Okay, let's
wrap it up with the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
All right. You got any cute little thing?
Who makes puppies sleeping look so adorable?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. All right. Drop us a comment, a subscription, and check us out every Tuesday, Thursday around noon.
Yeah, noon.
Noon.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.